It was 2 in the morning and I was wide awake. Creed was asleep in my bed, and I was supposed to be sleeping in it too, but not like that. Technically, there was nothing remotely romantic about it. It was a class project, there were instructions, there was a schedule taped to my wall. There was a plastic infant on my desk programmed to ruin both our lives for a solid week, but none of that explained why Creed was sleeping 6 inches away from me. He was flat on his back, one arm thrown over his head, the other resting loose across his stomach. The blanket had been kicked down around his thighs. Creed ran hot and apparently considered shirts a form of government oppression. Moonlight from the window cut across his chest, wide shoulders, and a dark trail of hair. His hard lines at his hips were disappearing beneath the waistband of his boxers. Every slow breath lifted his chest and let it fall again, calm and easy. While I lay beside him, conducting a detailed scientific study of the ceiling, I made it almost 8 seconds before looking back. His hair was crushed on one side and falling into his eyes. His mouth was slightly open. He looked softer asleep, less like the confident smartass everybody on campus knew. He looked more like someone I could reach over and touch without him making a joke about it, which was exactly the kind of thought I couldn't afford. Then he shifted. His knee slid against mine under the blanket and his body rolled slightly toward me. I stopped breathing. Creed didn't wake up. He just settled closer, warm skin brushing my arm, completely unaware that he had reduced my entire brain to one long emergency siren. And then the crying started. The doll lit up on the desk, red light blinking, letting out the kind of scream that made you understand why some animals ate their young. This was the part of the assignment where one of us was supposed to get up and figure out what it wanted. The problem was that Creed could sleep through the end of the world. You could have driven an ambulance through the room and he would have rolled over and asked it to keep the noise down. So waking him was my job. Waking him meant reaching across my bed and putting my hands on him. I aimed for his shoulder. My palm landed flat against his chest, warm, solid. His heartbeat slowed beneath my hand. Creed came awake gradually, blinking up at me through messy hair, and for one long second before he remembered the doll, the project, or why he was in my bed at all, he just looked at me. He didn't move my hand. Neither did I. And that was the exact moment I knew this fake little family was about to become a very real problem. A week earlier, I walked into Sociology 210 with no idea my whole week was about to get hijacked by a professor and a battery-powered infant. It was a Tuesday. I sat where I always sat, third row, far enough back to check my phone but close enough that Dr. Reyes didn't think I hated her. Creed sat 2 seats over, already there, highlighter in hand like a person who read the chapter before class. I had noticed that about him this semester. Dr. Reyes came in and placed a plastic bin full of bodies on the front table, which immediately got everyone's attention. This is your midterm. It is worth 30% of your grade, and none of you are going to like it. She reached into the bin and lifted one out by the arm. An infant simulator, one of the expensive ones, the kind that logs everything, when it eats, when it cries, how long you take to get to it. Whether you are supporting the head like a competent human being or swinging it around like a grocery bag. A few people laughed. Somebody said their sister had one of those in high school. It stayed funny for about 4 seconds, right up until Dr. Reyes said 30% again and let it sit there. The laughing stopped. The catch is that it cannot be left alone, not for a class, not for a shift at work, not for a party. It logs every minute it is unattended, and those minutes come straight out of your grade. So you and your partner are going to have to actually coordinate your lives. And here is the part that ended me, she didn't let us pick partners. You are not picking your partners. This thing cannot be left alone for a week, which means each pair needs coverage around the clock. Last week I had all of you fill out your time availability sheets. And this is why I am matching you by your individual schedules, so that whenever one of you is stuck in class or at work, the other one is free. If it is ever alone, that is on both of you. She started reading the pairs off her laptop and now I was listening. Everybody was. That is the worst part of getting assigned a partner, the few minutes where your whole next week is a name you haven't heard yet. And you were just praying it isn't the guy who never shows up or the girl who does the entire project herself and hates you for existing. Dylan, you are with Creed. I heard my name and then I heard his, and my whole body went still. 2 seats over, Creed looked up and gave me a nod. Like it was nothing, like our free hours matching up was a coin flip that had landed and he had already moved on. I nodded back. And hoped my face was doing something normal, because to Creed, it was a spreadsheet, compatible schedules, shared grade, 1 plastic baby. To me, I just got paired with a guy I'd been secretly attracted to all semester and now he's forced to spend the next week with me. Now partners get together and start working on your schedules. And one more thing, so you know what you are working toward, this does not end when you hand the baby back. At the end of the project, every pair stands up in front of this class and presents your logs, all of it. Who did the work, who slept through the alarms. How you split it, where it fell apart. The data does not lie, and neither will your partner, because they are standing right next to you. He came over, sliding into the seat next to me and set the simulator on my desk between us like we were already sharing custody. Now a presentation. It just keeps getting better. We're going to have to really commit to this to get a good grade. What does your week look like? We got it all mapped out for the week and his first shift starts tonight. The schedule made the call, not us. I had an 8 a.m. lab and a morning shift at the rec center, which meant I couldn't be the one up at 2 in the morning. And then functioning at dawn. That left the nights to Creed. His classes ran late and he worked afternoons, so his mornings were his own. And he could crash after a rough night and sleep it off. On paper, it was perfect. On paper. So the rotation was simple. Creed had the baby overnight and into the morning. Around 2 when I got off work, he handed it to me and I kept it through the evening. Until it was time to give it back to him for the night. The baby's care was tracked on an app called BabyStat. It synced to the doll. And logged every single thing we did in real time on a running score, feedings, diaper changes, how fast you responded to a cry, whether you burped it right. Green meant you were doing fine, red meant you weren't. And Dr. Reyes could see all of it, all the time, from wherever she was. I woke up the next morning, grabbed my coffee and checked BabyStat to see how his night went. I expected a wall of green,